Hi, welcome to my greenhouse. Today I'm going to repot a scented geranium that has been languishing in my greenhouse and just talk you through some decisions that I'm making as I do it and to rejuvenate it into this lovely new baby who will grow from this small plant back into a big plant in the spring. Join me. All right, so as you can see, there is green growth at the tips of this, and it is kind of dry and crusty at the base. I have cut this back, I think maybe twice now, and it's come back just fine. This is a scented geranium, it smells good. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to try to propagate this a little bit. So I'm just gonna get do some water propagation maybe? Okay, let's just do this. I have this lovely soup mug from Emma Gardner. Just gonna rinse it out, and we're gonna take some cuttings and put them in that mug. And maybe they will root and maybe they won't, but might as well try, right? So I'm just gonna cut off a branch like this, and I'm gonna strip off some leaves from the bottom, and I'm going to trim this. Can you focus? I'm gonna trim this. Oh, that was not a clean cut. I'm gonna trim it with scissors so I get a clean cut. I ordered the Rosie Hardy Gardening Propagation class and I went through it, so hopefully I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm going to snip with as clean of a cut as possible right below where some of those leaves were just growing. And then I don't need this many leaves on the top. What am I gonna do? So I'm just gonna remove some of these. All right, I wanted this to be longer because my mug is kind of longer. So this is what I'm left with. Just like this, stop moving. This stem, I'm gonna stick that in the water. Can you see? Yes. Okay, so let's just do a few of those. Get the cutting, strip off the leaves that are gonna go in the water. And if there's some extra foliage, ooh, this has a bud on it. Take the bud off. Aren't we fancy? Oh, I broke it. It's fine. So this has been in my greenhouse for a while. Can you see that there's flower buds coming on right there? It's been pretty cold in here, I'm shocked. There is no guarantee that this is going to work. I'm just doing it because I can, and it makes me feel better about cutting all this nice growth off. Okay, I think that's enough for now. I'm gonna get a little bucket for my trimmings here. This is one thing I use veg trug for. Don't leave your snips open and then like grab things around them. That's bad. That's bad. You're gonna cut yourself. Okay. So we're just gonna go in. If it's brown, it's dead. I don't know, like, if I hold it in front of my face, it tends to focus better. So if it's brown, it's dead, like the base of that stem. But also, okay, I'll show you in here in a minute. I can see the base of some of these stems. There's these little sprouts coming out of new growth. And if I can, I will cut back to that. If it's all brown to the base, I'm cutting all the way back to the base. Okay, largely I just, half of this is clearing space so I can see. So do I have to do this? No, I could have just let it be half green and have a brown center, but why? I mean, that plant's not really thriving that way, right? And if I want it to rejuvenate and be beautiful, I need to do this work. So I'm gonna just dust off the surface of this soil. Oh, this soil feels like kind of firm and awful. I think I might actually repot this because I have some fresh soil in here. So, bonus level. What am I gonna dump this into? It would be best if I cleared this off, so I'm gonna do that really quick. This is on my to-do list. And I'm gonna move these suckers over here. So let's do a quick cleaning the cleanerson. Okay. Thank you, Dustash, for your service. Can't do this with my left hand. You're welcome. All right, so I'm changing to this because I have like some soil mess that I need to contain. I don't want it to spill around my smaller section. What am I talking about? I have this mat set on my surface, and it's only, I don't know, 3 feet by 2 feet. And if I'm gonna create like a pile of dirt, I want something that has sides on it to contain that. So what I'm gonna do with this now, let's do my last couple cuts here. Finish something. All right, I pretty much cleaned this up to where I want it to be. It could use a little more detail work, but I can feel that this, I don't know if this is peat-based soil or what's going on with this, but it's like really firm and kind of dried out. And I know that this is a self-watering container, so there's no drainage hole. So the aeration in the soil might be kind of crap now because it's been in here for almost a year. So I'm gonna take this out, take a look at my roots. It looks like there are roots all the way down into the little self-watering holes at the bottom of this container. There's just like a really small watering reservoir down there. Can you see that? I think there's light going in there. So I'm gonna just do a little bit of root pruning and break up the surface of this that's all dried out. I think I have the tag for this scented geranium somewhere. See if I can find it. It's kind of not that important because there's not even like a flower on it right now. So I'm just like root pruning. Is that what this is? It's not really pruning because I'm not cutting anything, but I'm just loosening the soil from the roots that's compacted. There you go. You can start to see that there's more roots exposed. This is kind of satisfying. So if there's clumps of things, loosening those up. And then rather than going back in with completely new soil, even though I'm kind of starting from scratch here, I'm going to go ahead and mix in new soil with this older soil and put it back into that container. I don't really want to add any food right now because it's December. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and moisten that a little bit. And then I'm not gonna have to water this for a long time as these roots establish. just holding the crown of the plant, which is where it comes out of the soil, where the roots start. I'm holding it right below the top of the container in the center of the pot, and then I'm spinning the pot around to add soil around the edge. So when I kind of shake and tamp it down, I'm going to show you really quick. I can still see some roots exposed here. So I'm just shaking, tamping it down, and then I'm going to add more soil, and just until I can't see those roots at the top anymore. Okay, that was a little too much. All right, I'm shaking this container quite a bit because I loosened all those roots, and in order to get soil to come back in through the roots again, I gotta kind of jostle it around. I don't want there to be like a bunch of air pockets in those roots. And then I'll water it, and that'll help it get too much chaos. Okay, even though that just made a big mess, it was worth it. This is a contained system, like I said. So if I put too much water in here, it just has to evaporate out of here. It doesn't have a drainage hole in the bottom. So that was a desperate situation. What do I want to put on top? Anything? Bark? Pumice? Not vermiculite. Let's do some pumice. For fun. All right. This is what the pumice looks like. It's kind of decorative. Can evaporate through it. Water can evaporate through it. It gives it a little bit of a more decorative finish. And it doesn't absorb water the way that vermiculite does. And I think pumice does not brown the way that perlite does if you try to put perlite on the top. So it's kind of my version of horticultural grit. If you watch gardening channels from England, Monty Don and Carol and all those people frequently like to put something called horticultural grit on top of their containers, and I can't find horticultural grit. I found grit that they use in like chicken coops, so you can do that. The closest thing I've found that's available readily at garden centers, at hardware stores and gardening centers is pumice. So it's just like a super lightweight rock, and that gives it kind of a clean, decorative, finished look. This is my final product. So I'm just kind of cleaning the edge off, getting the dirt off the bottom, and then I'm gonna go put it back on the shelf. Oh, a couple little dead bits. Oh, I promised you I would show you the, I said I was done and I lied. I promised you I would show you the little new growth. Hello. On the stem. Thanks for joining me for the repotting of this scented geranium. Hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, let me know below. Maybe I will have an answer for you. Maybe it will help me do some research and think a little bit more deeply about why I make decisions about what I'm doing during gardening. So thanks for joining me. I hope to see you again in the greenhouse soon. Bye.